Hello, this is Will E. Perkins. Last name's Perkins. I usually just go by Willie on these recordings anyway. And I'm here in southwest Missouri in the Ozarks. And we are ready for lesson 61 in A Course in Miracles. We've completed the first 50 lessons. We've done the review to those 50 lessons. And now we're ready to go on to lesson 61. I am the light of the world. What a strong statement about your identity, our identity. I am the light of the world. Can you say that with assurance? Maybe after we read the next lesson, you'll be able to way more than what you would have before. Let's look at our last lesson once again, though. Lesson 60 review. God is the love in which I forgive. Wasn't that interesting, the way that God told, or we understand that God doesn't forgive because he never has condemned us. He's love. God is the strength in which I trust. There is nothing to fear. God's voice speaks to me all through the day. I am sustained by the love of God. And of course, the way it really came alive to me was when I said, God is the love in which I forgive, as is God is the strength in which I trust. So there is nothing to fear. And furthermore, God's voice speaks to me all through the day. Therefore, I am sustained by the love of God. Anyway, just throwing a few words in like that kind of may help you. Not required. Okay, before we read our lesson, I am the light of the world, I'd like to show you this plant I picked up at the garden supply. This is a seedless Concord grape. So I could tell it was alive. It's wanting to grow. I don't want to take it outside yet because it will freeze. And as a matter of fact, I had a really kind of a discouraging moment this morning when I went out. I didn't realize it was going to get down to 28 degrees. And I had some really tender plants sitting outside on the picnic table getting some sunlight. Well, they were the big box I'd shown you of, let's see, what was it? Swiss chard, the bright lights. I had like 50 of them in that wooden tray. And they were all needing sunlight. I had them in a window, and they're just not quite getting enough light. And I thought, yeah, a couple of days, they'll be all nice and starting to get bushy. Well, one thing I found out is even though Swiss chard can withstand a little frost, the little seedlings aren't too hardy. I lost almost all of them. So, anyway, that's just, and then on top of that, you talk about things that can cause problem. I had my picnic table sitting out where I had my plant sitting on it, and I had not considered, and I've been letting my horse in the yard. He's kind of he's like my dog, or she is. Her name's Dolly. And anyway, I had forgot that she would love to eat those green leaves of whatever they are, which she did. Of some other of the lettuces and stuff, I probably showed a lot of it to you. I really wasn't quite ready to plant it in the garden yet because I'm still kind of waiting for some of this, make sure it's most of our frosts go over. These cold hardy plants, I'm going to go ahead and put them out, but some of them aren't. And you want them to be up strong enough that you don't have the real tender, just barely sprouted. They're not real hardy against the frost. So anyway, all right. Well, anyway, Concord grape. I'm looking forward to growing. I've got a few grapes growing around here. And it says the thing, you need to leave 10 or 12 foot diameter for this thing. That surprises me. I figured, maybe 10 foot along a fence. But anyway, I'll figure it out. I'm not real sure. A lot of these things I'm just learning as I'm going. You all understand that, don't you? I wish I could just give you all kinds of really good advice. I've learned a lot of things through the years, but I'm in a place of trying to learn. and I am learning. All right, lesson 61. I am the light of the world. Who is the light of the world except God's Son? This then is merely a statement of the truth about yourself. It is the opposite of a statement of pride, of arrogance, or of self-deception. It does not describe the self-concept you have made. It does not refer to any of the characteristics with which you have endowed your idols. It refers to you as you were created by God. It simply states the truth. I am the light of the world. Simply states the truth. Paragraph 2. To the ego, today's idea is the epitome of self-glorification. But the ego does not understand humility, mistaking it for self-debasement. Humility consists of accepting your role in salvation and in taking no other. It is not humility to insist that you cannot be the light of the world, if that is the function God assigned to you. It is only arrogance that would assert this function cannot be for you, and arrogance is always of the ego. So here's this strong statement, I am the light of the world. I love the way Jesus turns this around. Instead of being a statement of arrogance and pompousness, instead he's saying, hey, this is your identity. And only the ego would say it's an arrogant thing, because that's what the ego does. That last sentence, it is only arrogance that would assert this function cannot be for you. Arrogance is always of the ego. 3. True humility requires that you accept today's idea because it is God's voice which tells you it is true. This is a beginning step in accepting your real function on earth. It is a giant stride toward taking your rightful place in salvation. It is a giant stride in taking your rightful place in salvation. So let's remember, this is an important lesson. He's going to develop this more. It is a giant stride toward taking your rightful place in salvation. It is a positive assertion of your right to be saved and an acknowledgement of the power that is given you to save others. I am the light of the world. Number 4, you will want to think about this idea as often as possible today. It is the perfect answer to all illusions and therefore to all temptation. It brings all the images you have made about yourself to the truth and helps you depart in peace, unburdened and certain of your purpose. 5. As many practice periods as possible should be undertaken today, although each one need not exceed a minute or 2. They should begin with telling yourself, I am the light of the world. This is my only function. That is why I am here. I am the light of the world. That is my only function. That is why I am here. Paragraph 7. Then think about these statements for a short while, preferably with your eyes closed if the situation permits. Let a few related thoughts come to you and repeat the idea to yourself if your mind wanders away from the central thought. 8. Be sure both to begin and end the day with a practice period. A little meditation early in the morning and one right before you go to bed. Thus you will awaken with an acknowledgement of the truth about yourself, reinforce it throughout the day, and turn to sleep as you reaffirm your function and your only purpose here. These 2 practice periods may be longer than the rest if you find them helpful and want to extend them. He's easy on us. You can extend them if you'd like. I would recommend spend 5 minutes with the thought in the morning and again in the evening, and then 1 or 2 minutes during the day, on many times during the day, saying, I am the light of the world. That is my function. That is why I am here. Say it until you feel it and mean it. Paragraph 9. Today's idea goes far beyond the ego's petty views of what you are and what your purpose is. As a bringer of salvation, this is obviously necessary. This is the first of a number of giant steps we will take in the next few weeks. Try today to begin to build a firm foundation for these advances. He's saying this idea, I am the light of the world, is a foundational thought for giant strides will be taken over the next few weeks. So build it solid. I am the light of the world. And the last sentence or paragraph. You are the light of the world. God has built his plan for the salvation of his Son on you. All right, we can say that. Say it with confidence. I think about all the times when I'd first become a Christian back when I was 16 years old. And I would say, well, God wants us to do this or that. And I'd get people and they'd say, well, you think you're so holy. Holier than thou. You've all heard that. Well, this is definitely one of the statements. If I'd been saying that back then, they go, well, you sure are holier than thou. Well, we want to learn to laugh at those type of statements and not take them personally. Matter of fact, we're learning to think exactly this way. I am the light of the world. Yes, and I am holy. Remember our lessons the other day about our holiness? All right. Well, listen, you are the light of the world, and I appreciate you. And let's learn to see that light in all of our brothers and sisters, which includes everyone. All right. Till tomorrow. Peace.